Supercross, the icon of two-wheel racing. Four-time Supercross champion Ricky Carmichael is a living legend that everyone looks to emulate.
I want to be like Ricky Carmichael. He always comes out on top.
Ricky knows that if he wants to hang on to his crown, he's going to have to find even more speed.
I think I can improve. It's going to be a long series. You know, as long as I'm up here on this box, that's all I care about.
Of course, Ricky is talking about competition like Kawasaki superstar James Stewart, who is out to prove himself in 2006. But let's not forget 2004 champion Chad Reed and seven-time champ Jeremy McGrath. Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California hosts the Amped Mobile AMA Supercross Series next on CBS. It's the Amped Mobile World Supercross GP and the Amped Mobile AMA Supercross Series here from Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. The excitement is building as a sold-out crowd is on hand for the opening round of the 2006 Amped Supercross season. Hi everybody, I'm Ralph Shaheen alongside former Supercross Lights champion Denny Stevenson, and it's an electrifying night here inside of Angel Stadium. And Denny, can you put into perspective what it's like for the riders on a night like tonight? So much anticipation, so much anxiety as you get ready for this curtain riser to the 2006 season.
Well, Ralph, there's absolutely nothing like an Anaheim opener. Some of the most memorable races in Supercross have happened right here in this venue. And I don't care if you're Ricky Carmichael, Chad Reed, James Stewart, the Butterflies are rocking tonight in Angel Stadium.
All of the major manufacturers will be participating here tonight. Let's tell you about some of the riders we'll be keying on. Of course, there's a reigning champion on the Suzuki, Ricky Carmichael. There's another former champion, Chad Reed, on the factory Yamaha. And there's a living legend himself on the Honda, Jeremy McGrath. But there's another rider on the factory Kawasaki, James Stewart, who wants to be a champion here tonight. Who do you see as a favorite this season?
Well, it's no secret that James Stewart put in two dominating performances in Canada last month. The key tonight will be what Ricky Carmichael and Chad Reed did over Christmas break. Were they able to find the speed to put them on top of the box tonight in Anaheim?
Speaking of those two races in Canada, let's show you now the point standings for the Amped Mobile World Supercross GP standings, brought to you by Toyota. And because James Stewart swept the two rounds in Toronto and Vancouver, he, of course, leads the points, chased by Ricky Carmichael and Chad Reed, who followed him across the finish line in those two positions. Now, here's a look at the road to the main. Here's how you qualify for the 20-rider, 20-lap main event. There's two heat races. If you don't qualify straight to the main out of that, you have a shot in one of the two semis or all the way through the last chance qualifier to make it finally into tonight's main event. And now, before we drop the gate on the first heat race tonight, let's send you down to the floor and introduce you to the third member of our CBS broadcast crew. Here's Chris Devoto.
This stadium is usually home to Major League Baseball's Angels, but you will not find any halos here tonight. The best two-wheel mudslingers in the world are going to get down and dirty. And unlike Angels, these guys don't have wings, but they will be flying some 70 feet in the air as the gate falls for the 39th time for a Supercross main event here in Anaheim. Guys.
All right, Chris, a lot of anticipation. Should be a very exciting night. Here's our Air Force starting list, and a lot of big names in here. Mike LaRocco, James Stewart, David Villeman. Boy, there's so many big names in just the first heat race. This is going to be an exciting night here in Anaheim. Lots of anticipation over the offseason, as this could quite possibly be the most anticipated season ever for Supercross. And this rider right here, a big part of that. James Stewart, the number 7 rider on the Kawasaki, chasing the championship.
James laid it down in Canada. Two dominating performances in December. Chad Reed, this is a chance for him to kind of make some things up. He said, you know what, those 2 rounds in Canada just were not me. I just didn't feel comfortable. I crashed, I tweaked my knee. This is a chance for him to make a statement in this heat race, show James Stewart, hey, I'm for real, I'm back. James Stewart, I'm a former Supercross champ, Chad Reed, and I'm going to take you down tonight in this heat race.
Look at the focus in the eyes as they get ready for the gate to drop. We're underway. Go a handful of riders. Stewart, big. He's stuck deep in the field, but he gets through.
Chad Reed in the middle of your screen right there, down. Caught in that left-hander. He's not going to probably make it into this heat race. Going to have to go to a semi. James Stewart was also caught up in that pack. And look at going over the bars and the whoops. That was Tim Ferry, the new Moto XXX Honda, former factory Yamaha rider, goes down big time. Unbelievable carnage right off the bat.
Here's Stewart right here, working his way through the field quickly, trying to make up a lot of that lost time. And Mike LaRocco on the 5, right behind him on the red machine.
Jacob Saylor right there. James Stewart basically jumping over the top of his head. Unbelievable route. We saw Stewart caught up in that carnage in the first turn, and just within about 3 or 4 corners, already flown all the way up to second behind Kyle Lewis.
Trying to catch up to the 23 of Kyle Lewis as they come through the big bull section, sweeping underneath the bridge. And look at James Stewart just tapping that rear wheel. Now over this very unusual off-camber section and into the rhythm section here, and he's right up alongside of him already.
Quickly making work of Kyle Lewis. Double, triple, double through the rhythm section. And watch him go through these whoops. He just basically flat planed. Oh, look, another rider down. Mike LaRocco is down. Just like that, we've had 2 of the stars, Chad Reed and Mike LaRocco, down, throwing Tim Ferry, 3 superstars, down within a lap and a half.
7-time Supercross champion Jeremy McGrath, who we'll be seeing racing here in a little while, told me earlier today this is one of the, in the term that he used, gnarliest racetracks he's ever seen in Supercross racing. And we're seeing already here in Heat 1 just how difficult it is, as it has caught many of the top riders in the world right out from under him.
Yeah, it's caught a lot of these guys by surprise. You know, we're not definitely going to see the battle we were anticipating between James Stewart, Chad Reed, maybe Mike LaRocco. Right now, James Stewart just made quick work of a lot of these 2-digit guys he normally doesn't even battle with, and out front running right now. Now he's just going to put down some quick lap times, show Ricky Carmichael, who's back in the start line, check out my lap times. I'm going to throw it down fast.
James Stewart out in front and leading already here in a very treacherous Heat 1 at Anaheim.
CBS Sports Spectacular presents the Amped Mobile Supercross Anaheim, sponsored by Toyota. Choose any direction as long as it's forward. Toyota, moving forward. Amped Mobile, experience things others can't. And by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, personal watercraft, and scooters.
The action continues here in Anaheim with James Stewart out in front of Heat number 1. Stewart on the number 7 Kawasaki out front now, but it was a tough road to get there. It all began with the start.
You see this tight left-hander coming in right now. Chad Reed right in the middle of your screen. He's going to get clipped. He's going to go down big time. You see him, the helmet getting taken out of the front wheel. He's down and out, way back in the pack. There, James Stewart just getting going, number 7 on the green Kawasaki. We're looking for a big battle. All we saw was big carnage in first turn.
And you can see how the riders all covered up. Now here's Chad Reed, who has worked his way back up through the field. In fact, he's all the way up to 3rd, which gives him a transfer spot. And he's back with David Milliman on the 12 right now for 2nd place.
Yeah, obviously I misspoke in that first turn when I said that Chad Reed, after going down, would have to go to the semifinal. He's made a quick work and has moved up in the 3rd spot, now battling with David Bowen for that 2nd position. He does not want to have to go to a semifinal.
Well, that's what being a former champion will get you. He knows there's a long way to go. And look at that pass. A beautiful move to the inside, and Chad Reed has 2nd place.
You know, I think this might have helped Chad a little bit. You know, Chad sometimes can get caught up overthinking situations. Nothing's better than having to come through the pack, because that's when you just stop thinking and just start getting some work done. And he's throwing down some fast 58.5s right now, much faster than he was doing in practice, while James Stewart, he's throwing down a 57.6. So Chad still needs to find about a 2nd of speed if he hopes to run the speed of James Stewart.
There's a good look at the factory Kawasaki rider, James Stewart, right there.
You see the yellow flags in the whoop section. A lot of guys going down. Those whoops are so deep, so treacherous. A lot of guys crashing. We saw Tim Ferry go down there in the opening lap. James making quick work going through the yellow flag.
And earlier today, as you and I were watching practice, the one rider who got through there better than anybody was this man right here. James Stewart, just as they call it, blitzing right across the top of the whoops.
Yeah, you know, it's amazing. Sometimes people are more impressed with seeing the triple jumps. You know, when you're jumping 3 jumps at once, 80 feet in the air, sometimes the most impressive thing is watching James Stewart and these guys go across these whoop-de-doos. 3 feet deep, they make it look like a flat straightaway.
Checkered flag falls, and James Stewart has won Heat number 1. 3 other riders will join him in tonight's main event. Oh, and Reed bobbles. He stalled. He's got it going again. Reed trying to make his way to the finish to hold on to 2nd place, and he still holds on to 2nd place. He's got 1 more corner to go and the big finish line jump. Reed gets the job done Villeman should hold on for third. And here's Thomas in fifth. He's going to finish one spot out of a direct transfer. Lewis will take that. Thomas instead will go to one of the semis. What a performance by James Stewart and Chad Reed to bounce back and come in 1 and 2. Let's take another look at that start.
Keep an eye on the center of your screen. Just to your left, you're going to probably see Jason Thomas. There's Chad Reed just to your left in the blue bike. High sides over the top of everyone, goes down, catches a rear wheel right in the head. You know, when this thing gets all said and done, Chad Reed's just going to be thankful that he got through this heat race unscathed, uninjured, and is going to be able to go to that main event.
And here's a look at the results, which of course Stewart, Reed, Villeman, and Kyle Lewis all go straight on to the main event tonight, representing Kawasaki, Yamaha, and Honda. Krista.
Well, James Stewart gets the win, but he didn't have those big names up there because of that ugly start. James, did this one really tell you anything, again, because those guys had so much trouble?
Yeah, you know, I got a bad start, and, you know, just kind of worked my way through the first corner. I almost went down, and, you know, just trying to go out there and put a smart 20 laps in. You know, I just want to, you know, come out here, you know, doing good and safe, and feel like I can do that, help with Kawasaki, Fox, and Oakley. I feel strong.
Smart, safe, and surviving. This one was ugly, but James Stewart gets the win, guys.
All right, Krista, so he survives out of that heat race, and look at the riders that James Stewart's going to be dealing with, because coming out of this heat race is going to be a whole bunch of other superstars making their way into the main. And this Thor starting list shows you just how stacked up this group is. Ricky Carmichael, Ernesto Fonseca, Jeremy McGrath, Ivan Tedesco. A strong heat race here.
Heat race number 2 is definitely stacked with 7 factory riders, but the main man right here, Ricky Carmichael, your 2005 Supercross champion. He just saw James Stewart lay down some quick lap times at 57.6. Ricky Carmichael doesn't have to deal with Jeremy McGrath, Travis Preston, but he's also going to have to deal with getting some fast lap times improved. He can get it done. But how about this guy, Ralph? Jeremy McGrath, the legend, the 7-time Supercross champ, making a show here in Anaheim.
And this is, if Yankee Stadium is a house that Ruth built, this is the stadium Supercross-wise that McGrath built. As the gate drops and we head to turn 1. Much cleaner than the first heat race. There's Carmichael on the outside. But getting the jump is Travis Preston on the number 11, and Carmichael giving chase. Carmichael on the bright yellow Suzuki number 4 cuts to the inside. Preston hands over the lead.
Makes quick work with Travis Preston. You've seen Travis have to lift his leg right there. Ricky ran it in an aggressive move. Travis just picked up his leg and said, I'm going to follow you right now, champ. I'm going to see what I can learn from you.
Michael Byrne on the factory Kawasaki rides in third, number 26. And behind him is Heath Voss, number 13 on the Yamaha. Stay with us for more for heat number 2 from Anaheim. Ricky Carmichael continues to run dominantly out in front of heat number 2 here in Anaheim, but just moments ago behind him in the battle for second place, Michael Byrne loses it on the Kawasaki, and Carmichael's teammate Ivan Tedesco flies right into him, and Heath Voss just misses the 2 on the number 13.
Both these guys were in transfer spots in third and fourth. That moved Jeremy McGrath, the legend, up into a qualifying position in third spot. For Jeremy, that's good news. He doesn't have to ride to the semifinal. Oh, Heath Voss, he was in right up there in 5th spot. Now that opens up the door for Travis Preston. Here comes Nick Way, and the champ McGrath goes down in those treacherous whoops. Wow, just showing how dangerous and how intense and gnarly this track is. Some of the superstars going down big time in this heat race number 2.
As I mentioned earlier, McGrath telling me just how treacherous this racetrack was. In fact, he said he was surprised to see such a challenging technical racetrack on the opening round here in Anaheim.
I mistakenly said dangerous. The track's not so much dangerous. It might be dangerous for you and I, Ralph, but for these guys, it just is intense.
Well, it also shows you just how impressive these great riders really are to be able to make some of these huge obstacles look so simple.
Now, this is the battle for the final transfer spot, Ralph, between Travis Preston, Nick Way, and Heath Voss. Only 2 of these guys will go out of these 3.
Preston on the 11, Nick Way on the 27, and Heath Voss on the number 13, the rider in blue. It's Carmichael, Fonseca, right now. Voss sitting one spot out of it. And Carmichael skies over the finish line jump. And here comes a battle behind him for those final transfer spots. Way sitting in fourth. And just gotten in front of Preston actually for third now. So Preston on the 11 sits back in fourth. So he's got the final transfer. Fonseca's crossed. He's going on. Way should make it third. Now can Voss catch Preston? Can't get it done. Carmichael, Fonseca, Way, and Preston will all transfer straight on.
Real quick, Ralph, we talked about the opening show. The key to it, did Ricky Carmichael find that speed he was missing in Canada? He just threw down a 57.2, almost a half second faster than Bubba.
And we talked about Jeremy McGrath. He had a transfer spot straight out of the heat until this moment here.
Getting up on top of him, that's the key right now, but you do not want to drop your front end. He did just that, gets bucked off the side of the motorcycle, and down the legend goes. Just like that, out of transfer spot, Jeremy McGrath will have to go to the semifinal.
No problems for Ricky Carmichael. The beautiful tail whip over the finish line jump as Carmichael lets the rest of the riders back in the paddock know he's ready for tonight's main event. Those four will transfer, and Ricky Carmichael stands by with Krista.
Well, all the chaos was going on behind him. Ricky Carmichael, meanwhile, the win. Were you looking for the right line, speed, consistency? What was your goal in that heat race?
Just to get a good start, you know, from my poor starts in Canada. So got a good start, and I made a few mistakes. Definitely got to eliminate those. And I felt pretty good. Need to be a little more consistent, though, I think.
All right, consistency is what we'll look for from Ricky Carmichael in the main event, guys.
All right, Krista, thank you very much. And when we come back, we'll take a closer look at Ricky Carmichael, the one they call GOAT, the greatest of all time. CBS Sports coverage of Amped Mobile Supercross will return after this message and a word from your local station. A sold-out crowd on hand here tonight at Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. For more sports news and information, go to cbs.sportsline.com. Many say Ricky Carmichael is the greatest of all time. Last year was a bit of a comeback season where Ricky proved the title fits as he won his fourth Supercross championship. This closer look at RC is brought to you by Amped Mobile.
Some people look at it without Ricky, it would be fun, you know. Maybe we could, you know, win races or whatever, but, you know, I definitely 100% don't look at it like that. I mean, having Ricky is, you know, gives you something to work for.
His comfort zone is like everybody else's on the edge time. Oh my God, how did he just go that fast?
I want to be like Ricky Carmichael. He always comes out on top. No matter whether it's Supercross or outdoors, you know, he gives it everything he has. He just seems to have it all together.
There's one guy out there right now, you know, the guy that's winning everything.
I think he's in kind of a little bit of a class of his own.
I used to be the man, but yeah, Ricky is the one now.
He leagues above the other guys that are the best in the world.
He's the best motocross, supercross rider ever.
I sat a year of Supercross out, had time to think about it, and I was chomping at the bit. And I did what I went there to do. I won more races than anybody did in Supercross, so nobody can say anything. And I think the tides have changed for me.
Going to a new team, new bike, all new people.
I was a little worried at first, you know, but I made my decision and I never looked back.
You know, in my opinion, it was clearly a smart season. I mean, he went out and, you know, raised the bar, put it up to where he thought it needed to be.
I wanted to come out and I wanted to do really good. I mean, for sure. I like to, you know, I think you got to get the momentum going.
One of those things where I think Ricky just got to a good start.
I believe if I would have started off slow, I'm still confident that I could have got the job done. I think I do what I have to do when I have to do it.
Ricky Carmichael is certainly a Hall of Fame caliber rider, but one thing he has not done is he has never won the season opener here at Anaheim. Let's take a look at tonight's Yamaha starting list for the main event here in Anaheim, and it is loaded with superstars, including Jeremy McGrath, Ricky Carmichael, Mike LaRocco, James Stewart, Ivan Tedesco, Chad Reed. It is a great lineup of talent in one of the biggest races of the year. And let's head downstairs before we drop the gate. Here's Chris Devoto.
I want to follow up on something Ricky Carmichael said after his heat win. He said the key was the start. The starts gave him so much trouble in Canada. Ricky said he was left shaking his head, wondering if it was something he was doing wrong. Well, the team took a look at the bike over the holidays. They said they definitely found something with the bike. It's mechanical, not mental, and that is great news for Carmichael.
We'll be back with the main event in just a moment. Welcome back. Getting set for the main event here at Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. Let's take a look at our Honda starting list. And a whole bunch of superstars ready to battle it out here in the biggest race of the Supercross season. You see the names. 20 riders, 20 laps. It's going to be a spectacular night of racing here in Anaheim. And Ricky Carmichael chasing a 5th championship. And one of the guys he's going to have to go through to get there is quite possibly the fastest man here tonight, James Stewart. But he's not infallible, as we saw earlier today in practice, Denny.
Well, I said earlier that if Ricky Carmichael can find the speed, he's got a shot at beating Stewart, and Stewart goes down.
Gate drops and we're underway. And everybody gets through turn 1 safely this time. And there's Ivan Tedesco coming up on the outside, trying to take the lead away. He's battling with the number 10 of Ernesto Fonseca right now. Fonseca getting a great hole shot on the Honda.
Reed's in about 5th. Carmichael's about 12th. And Stewart's about 15th right now.
So Carmichael's teammate, Ivan Tedesco, sitting in 2nd place. And Ernesto Fonseca doing a great job out front on the number 10 Honda. Kyle Lewis had got the hole shot, but it quickly dissipated. There's Mike LaRocco and Chad Reed. LaRocco on the 5. LaRocco having to come out of one of the semis tonight.
This is a big opportunity for Chad Reed. Chad's in 4th. Carmichael's in 7th. Stewart is back in 10th. This is a chance for Reed to get out front, break away, try and get by these guys as quickly as possible. Obviously, that's not going to be easy, but he needs to gap these guys before these guys can get through the field quickly.
That's Ricky Carmichael on the Suzuki, the yellow number 4. And there's James Stewart coming to the inside. Stewart takes his spot away.
Carmichael gave Stewart way too much respect right there, and then just blows right back through him, but passing through the whoops right there. I think Carmichael expected Stewart to throw a much bigger, aggressive move on him. Stewart gave him a lot of room. Ricky, I think, was a little surprised, and then just drove right back by him through the whoops.
And you can hear this stadium crowd cheering all of these moves. This is the birthplace of Supercross in Southern California, and they know good racing when they see it, and they're cheering these two, who everybody expects to see battling for the championship all season long. And right in the middle of it is number 11, Travis Preston, on the Honda.
Stewart knows that when you're buried in the back of the pack, the easiest time to pass someone is when they're stuck in front of, with someone else in front of him, like he was with Preston. Stewart knows he's got to catch up to Carmichael. It's easier to surprise and pass him than it is when Carmichael's expecting it.
Well, we've seen James Stewart so fast around this racetrack all weekend long. It's going to be impressive to see if he can reel these guys in, because this is the battle for the lead right here. Fonseca still holds on to it on the red Honda, number 10, and Ivan Tedesco right behind him on the number 9 yellow Suzuki. And then Chad Reed up to 3rd, the former champion, on the number 22 Yamaha. Denny, we've all been saying, can Chad Reed find the speed that he needs to challenge for the title again? And he's right there tonight. But here comes Carmichael.
He better find it quickly. He's going quick, but here comes Carmichael really fast. In the heat races, Carmichael only had about a 0.8-second advantage on Reed's fastest lap time. But here he comes right now. The only thing separating Carmichael and Reed is just the track. There are no riders between them. And here comes Stewart as well, trying to make a move on Mike LaRocco.
LaRocco on the number 5 Honda. Carmichael has already moved past him and closing on Reed now. And still, it's Fonseca out front.
Tedesco makes a big falter in the whoops. Chad Reed makes a move, moves into second right now. Personally, I don't think Reed's making enough happen right now. He's not getting away from Carmichael. Look, and Ivan Tedesco kills it.
Yeah, and that puts Carmichael up another position.
The big three are 2, 3, and 4 right now with Fonseca out front. Ralph, this is the battle we've been waiting for.
Now, how quickly can they reel in Ernesto Fonseca? And then the top 3 will be setting sail in what should be a tremendous fight for the win here tonight in Anaheim. Fonseca, Reed, Carmichael, Stewart, and Mike LaRocco, the top 5.
Oh, and Fonseca goes down through the rhythm section, thrown up over the bars, down just like that, out of the lead. Still gets back up in 5th, but now the big 3 are out front. Reed, Carmichael, and Stewart.
Chad Reed has the lead. Carmichael sits in 2nd. Stewart's in 3rd, and everybody in this stadium is standing up watching this battle.
Wow.
It has been the most highly anticipated season of Supercross racing ever, and this is why. Everybody expected to see these 3 riders battling it out all year long, and this is what we've waited for. Now, who's going to claim the title?
People, this entire Anaheim Stadium is on their feet. Chad Reed just uncorked some new rhythm section right now, doing a triple, 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 something we haven't seen all night. We'll come back around and address it when he gets to this section. But watch him come out of the tunnel right now, Ralph. There's seat mounts this entire section. They didn't do that all night long either.
An absolutely packed house here tonight. Sold out Anaheim Stadium. Last time they did that, the Angels were in the World Series. For a Supercross, no problem when you get racing like this here in the birthplace of Supercross. Unbelievable pace being set by these 3 riders right now, and we've talked all night about how radical this racetrack is, how tough it is, and they're making these massive obstacles look like they're just simple little things in the way. Blasting through the rhythm section, clearing the triple, and skying over this massive finish line jump.
Reed just put in the last few laps that he had to put in if he had any chance of winning with this race. He proved himself. I can put in these consistent laps. These guys have not closed on me. They haven't thrown an elbow into me. He can now kind of settle in and go, hey, I'm running fast enough pace. He can feel comfortable enough to go, this is what I need to keep doing. I still got 14 more laps to go, of course, but I'm confident with the pace I'm putting on these guys.
Chris, an unbelievable pace being set by Chad Reed. Could it be the fact that he changed his hair color since we last saw him in Canada?
He changed mechanics, guys. That last lap, 56.6. The guy you're seeing right here, Alan Olson, not a new mechanic. He's been around a long time, but he's a new mechanic for Chad Reed. That's because Chad Reed's normal, regular mechanic, Darren Sorensen, broke his ankle in a fall on his own motorcycle. So Alan Olson filling in, and he's doing something right tonight, guys. Chad Reed leading this race on lap 6.
Well, Ricky Carmichael's got some new suspension pieces as well, and they've done a lot of work on that number 4 Suzuki since we last saw him before Anaheim, and it seems to be working on his bike as well because he's closing, and that's exactly what that signboard says.
He's feeling it right now. He just cased the rhythm section coming out of the tunnel jump. Carmichael just made the pass.
Listen to the cheers in the background as RC goes to the front. Ricky Carmichael takes over the lead. Now, will we see James Stewart turn up the heat on his number 7 Kawasaki? Have we seen everything out of him yet?
Carmichael do the whoops.
We talked about how vicious those whoop section could be, and it has just reached up and bit the reigning champ. And down goes Carmichael. He still isn't going yet. The Suzuki has not fired. Now he's back underway. Chad Reed back to the front. Unbelievable.
Another Anaheim opener that Ricky Carmichael will not win. Chad Reed, James both saw what just happened to Carmichael. There's like, now it's down to 2.
All right, I'll ask you again, Denny. Have we seen everything out of James Stewart? Stewart. Do we think the rider on the number 7 has more speed yet to go? Is he just pacing himself?
I think James Stewart is riding a smart race like we saw in Canada just a month ago. He's biding his time. He knows he doesn't have to ride over his head. He's going to sit and watch and see what Reed's got, and he's going to turn up the wig a little bit more. I think we're just watching a little bit of what James Stewart has available.
James Stewart practiced, tested, rode hard every day over the holiday break, getting ready for this moment here, and he's closing in on Chad Reed.
Now watch that section those guys are right doing it. We have not seen him do that all night long. They used to just double in. Now they're tripling in and tripling all the way through the entire rhythm section. They're putting down lap times we have not seen all night long.
Taking the riding level to a whole nother spot on the chart that we haven't seen yet this week in Anaheim. And boy, if the season's going to be like this all season, you're going to have to bring your best game every lap. Let's go back and take a look at what happened to Ricky Carmichael as Stewart takes a quick look over his shoulder to see if anybody's chasing him and Reed. Here's Carmichael out in front going into the whoops.
We've seen so many guys down. He just got ahead of himself, dropped the rear wheel. It hit him in the butt, the seat did, and the thing just squirted out right from under him. It could have been much worse. Carmichael is back right now in 5th. I guarantee he'll be up by 3rd by the end of this race. But that's something we did not expect to see, that Ricky going down.
We're halfway home. 10 laps of the scheduled 20 already completed. Carmichael sitting in 5th with Fonseca Laraco just in front of him before he's back on the podium here tonight. Meanwhile, it's Chad Reed out in front, but for how long? Here comes Stewart. Reed bangs into the side of him. Oh, tremendous side-by-side competition, but it's Stewart who comes out with the number 1 spot, and this crowd goes crazy.
He just bided his time. He was so patient. This is something we did not see out of James Stewart last season. Obviously, we saw it in Canada last month, and just like that, he lets Carmichael make a mistake. Doesn't even have to pass him. Moves into 2nd, and then just eats up Chad Reed in a couple seconds. Chad makes a mistake, takes over the lead.
We have seen so many different styles of riding out of James Stewart that we hadn't seen all throughout his career. And another level of maturity here tonight. He knew this track could be tough. He was patient. He's your leader. We'll be back with more from Anaheim right after this on CBS. Welcome back to Anaheim. James Stewart continues to lead as we're past the halfway point here at the season opener of the 2006 year. And there's Ricky Carmichael. We said at the beginning he has never won here in the season opener in Anaheim, and it looks like once again he's going to be frustrated here in Anaheim, but right now he's up to 4th. Let's take you back to the Toyota hole shot and show you how this race got underway.
Coming in the first turn, you see Kyle Lewis in the center screen right there. Gets the hole shot, moves everybody out a little bit. For one of the few races we've seen all night, everyone gets out good. Jeremy McGrath, we expected him to get a much better start, buried in the back of the pack on that 2-stroke.
That was our Toyota hole shot. McGrath, by the way, is back to 11th position now on his 250. Smaller motor compared to the 450 power plant that's inside the belly, if you will, of that number 7 of James Stewart. In fact, most of the top riders this season choosing the 450, making it a heavier bike, but a more powerful bike, Denny?
Well, the manufacturers have made the 454 stroke such a light motorcycle that it's the bike of choice right now with many of these guys, as we see Ricky Carmichael starting to close the ground of Mike Laraco. What about Mike Laraco? We haven't seen him all season long. He's not racing the outdoors. He's only racing Supercross only anymore. He's 35 years old. He's never given up. The guy's the Iron Man. He's up right now in 3rd position, putting it down with Ricky Carmichael. And not enough can be said about Mike Laraco, the Iron Man.
And one of the things about Mike Laraco, one of the reasons why he's been able to take his career so long and so successfully, is the amount of training he's always done. Most of these guys are basically insane about their training. Incredible levels of determination and commitment to their training. But Laraco, well known for taking it even farther than most.
Yeah, and that's kept him healthy throughout most of his career. Had him, and it's prolonged his career forever. He makes it enjoyable, and he's put it to Ricky Carmichael right now. But Carmichael reeling in the gap, soon to probably take over that 3rd spot. And one thing about Carmichael, you know he's got to be disappointed, obviously. You know, he crashed right out front, but he didn't have this speed in Canada last month. He was unable to match the speed of Stewart. Tonight, he ran that pace. So that's got to be his bright side as we head into Phoenix for round 2. Carmichael Carmichael knows, hey, if I can stay up, I think I can run that pace, and I have a shot at winning this thing still.
And Carmichael coming right after LaRocco. LaRocco on the 5, the Honda. And here comes the Suzuki rider of Carmichael. Got bogged down in that corner, and there's Stewart. Still incredible speed being shown by James Stewart. And Chad Reed still trying to reel him in, and here comes Carmichael to take over third from LaRocco. And you know what, Denny, as they close in on Kyle Lewis, who had gotten the whole shot earlier tonight, now Kyle Lewis all the way back to 13th, so they're working their way up through the field. Quite a few seasons when Ricky has finished third here in the season opener, he's gone on to win the championship.
Yeah, he's certainly is not going to be happy with third, but he's not going to be disappointed as well. It could have been much worse. Obviously, could have been better, but I said it many times, you cannot win the championship in round one, but you can certainly lose it. And I think this was a learning night for Ricky Carmichael and all three of these guys. Chad Reed showed some confidence, but James Stewart out front with a 5.1 second lead. So again, James Stewart is the man to beat.
Let's take one more look at what happened to Ricky Carmichael as he took over the lead and then made his way into this rhythm section.
These guys go so fast. The whole goal is to hit each whoop, each top of a whoop with your front wheel and your rear wheel. He misses one of those. You see his rear wheel drop into the hole. It just throws him sideways, and down he goes. He gets away from the bike, fortunately, but just like that, he's going so fast through that section of whoops. One little mistake, and down he goes. And opens up the door for Reed and Stewart.
But one thing Ricky Carmichael has learned here tonight is that he has the speed to run up front with James Stewart, if he's going to have, which he's going to have to do to be in the battle for this championship. And Chad Reed has learned that as well. They were both very fast early on in the stages here tonight. A couple more adjustments, some lucky breaks here and there, and this could be a wide open championship. James Stewart told me when we walked the track together earlier today, he said, you know what? I took those 2 wins in Canada. I feel really good coming into this round. I've trained very hard. I've peaked for the right time of the year for this championship chase. But Ricky Carmichael is still the man. I might be fast right now, but I'm not the champion. And until somebody takes that championship away from him, he's still the man.
In 2001, Ricky Carmichael kind of came out of nowhere, surprised Jeremy McGrath. Jeremy was not ready for Carmichael's pace, his energy. This year, it was almost as though Carmichael quite wasn't ready for Stewart as well, but they got a 3-week break from the 2 Canadian rounds, a Christmas break. They got to go home and do their homework. McGrath did not have that benefit back in the day. So I think that those guys have gone home and done their homework, like you said. They figured out they're a little bit closer to Stewart. They still got a little bit ways to go, but next week in Phoenix will be also another incredible race.
I don't know about you, but I found that statement from Stewart as we watch Chad Reed, who still runs in second, very interesting. And there you see Stewart coming the other way, your race leader, because Stewart has been well known for being a flashy rider, very confident. And to say that shows that he knows he's fast, but he still has tremendous respect for Ricky Carmichael.
Yeah, definitely. And he, man, how smart was he riding in this race? He sat back. He let Chad and Ricky make the mistakes. Where in the past, he was the one. Last season, he'd be out front, and he might make a mistake and crash. Or in the middle of the battle, his front end would wash out. This year, man, a newer, a stronger, a more improved, I cannot say it enough, an impressive James Stewart. He's done his homework. Jeremy Albrecht at Kawasaki, Mike Fisher, those guys, they've got him an awesome motorcycle, and they have an incredible rider.
As James Stewart worked his way up through the ranks of Supercross racing, so many people said, this is the next great superstar. And when he got into the Supercross class, last year was a disaster for James. It was not what everybody had expected. It was not what he hoped. He went through some ailments. He's gotten through all of that. He's taken care of everything. He got himself physically ready to go and mentally ready to go. And this year, right now, he is showing that he truly is going to be that next great superstar. And if he keeps running like this, he could run away with this championship.
Watching what he did in the heat race and in this main event tonight, he's proven he's the man to beat right now. He's done his homework. Everybody else going to have to go back to the drawing board for round 2 in Phoenix and try and match this pace of James Stewart for 20 laps.
Last lap here at Anaheim, the season opener for 2006. And James Stewart is coming on to win the biggest race of the year for Supercross.
What I'm amazed is how these guys stepped it up even more after the heat race. There's no longer a Friday practice. They took away an entire day of practice for these guys. So they couldn't learn the track nearly as quickly as done in the past. These guys were still learning as the night went on. Just the heat race, they did not do some of the obstacles they started doing in this main event. That's amazing. That shows the talent that these guys have and the skills.
And James Stewart is showing off for the crowd with some massive tail whips. And the flash bulbs go off. He knows he's about to win the biggest race of the season. The Anaheim opener goes to James Stewart. And a tremendous performance. Chad Reed on the factory Yamaha is going to be right in the thick of the points chase with a second place run. And Ricky Carmichael had the lead, falls down, gets up and gets going, and will cross the line in third.
Jeremy Allback, Mike Fisher right there from Kawasaki congratulating their superstar, James Stewart.
Here comes Ricky Carmichael to wrap it up, but what couldn't have been, as he had the lead until the whoops, and down he went hard. But James Stewart wins it here tonight in Anaheim as he skies over the finish line jump. Stay with us.
CBS Sports Spectacular presents the Amped Mobile Supercross Anaheim, sponsored by Suzuki, maker of performance-driven motorcycles, scooters, and all-terrain vehicles. Toyota, choose any direction as long as it's forward. Toyota, moving forward. And by Yamaha, with a full line of electric start TTR off-road bikes, Yamaha makes it easy to get the whole family started.
Welcome back to Anaheim. Let's take a look at our Suzuki results. James Stewart, the winner. Chad Reed, Ricky Carmichael coming across the line in second and third to make it a great points battle. And Mike LaRocco with a very strong run to fourth. And Jeremy McGrath, seven-time champion, comes home 11th here tonight. Let's head downstairs. Here's Krista.
Well, guys, we've seen the whoops be treacherous for a lot of riders today. Ricky, what happened out there?
I don't know. You know, I got in the lead and just tried to get a good drive through the whoops. And unfortunately, I skipped one, and the rest was history. And after that, then obviously my bars were sideways, and if you can't be for the win, it's tough, But that's the way it goes. We rebuilt. I was on the podium, so that's good. But I felt good. That was the bummer part. But that's the way it goes, and we rebuild on next week.
The rebuilding begins, but he was able to climb back up to a podium finish, guys.
Let's take a look at our Amped Mobile AMA Supercross point standings presented by Toyota. And with the win here tonight in Anaheim, James Stewart leads that series by 3 points over Chad Reed, who's standing by with Krista.
Well, it wasn't the win, but a lot of speed for Chad Reed. How do you rate tonight's performance?
A lot better. I felt good on the bike this weekend. Crashing the heat race was a blessing in disguise. I needed to take a bump. I needed to get that crap out my system, if you may say. But just much better. Just I felt like I was patient and I had a good push. Towards the end there, it wasn't really where I needed to be or where I wanted to be. But that's life. We'll fight back a little stronger next week. I'm really looking forward to Phoenix. Haven't ever won there, so I'd like to get a win there. I just want to give a shout out to all the guys at Amped Mobile, doing a great job with Supercross and Parts Unlimited, Thor, Yamaha, Scott, and Bridgestone. Just I'm excited to be part of those guys racing thing, and just looking forward to next weekend.
All right, Chad Reed, always in contention, guys.
Time to take a look at our Toyota moving forward moment of the race. And it came between James Stewart and Chad Reed. Reed bobbles, and here comes Stewart around the outside. A little contact. Stewart keeps it pinned, and away he goes with the lead. And let's head downstairs to Krista.
Well, he certainly picks up in Anaheim where he left off in Canada. James Stewart, what was the key to your win tonight?
Just smart, consistent. Got a horrible start, and I was right behind Ricky, and he was picking guys off. So just tried to make it through the first few laps, and just really wanted to settle into like lap 10, and then start making my push towards the end, and just kind of felt like I started making some good lines. I was following Ricky, and I was pushing him, and he started making little mistakes and stuff, and finally went down in the whoops, and then I got around Chad about halfway through it, and I just rode a smart race. It feels good.
All right, smart, consistent, and patient. James Stewart, your winner in the season opener.
Let's take a look now at the Amped Mobile World Supercross GP point standings presented by Toyota. And with 3 straight wins, including 2 in Canada, James Stewart leads Ricky Carmichael by 11. For Denny Stevenson and Chris Devoda, I'm Ralph Shaheen saying so long from Anaheim, where James Stewart is your winner. Coming up next on CBS, a Big Ten basketball battle as Michigan State faces off with Wisconsin. CBS Sports coverage of the Amped Mobile Supercross Series continues in 2 weeks as we return to Anaheim. Once again, your winner in Anaheim tonight is James Stewart. So long, everybody.